So I've Aisling here who's just finished coaching with me, and she's going to go through a little bit about where she was previously, what's happened since she started coaching, and where she is now. So start off, just for people watching, tell us a sentence or or two about yourself.
So my name is Aisling. I'm 28. I live in Wicklow and I work as an assistant support worker with Nua Healthcare. So lots of shift work.
Perfect. And can you tell us a little bit kind of where you were previously doing in terms of where you were before you started coaching side of things?
So I'll kind of break it into two things. Like fitness wise, I was never, I was never massively overweight. I was never fit either, but I sort of went to the gym. The big thing with me was consistency. With like every aspect of anything I started, I never stuck to it. I was one of those people that had this attitude that why would I bother? Sure, I'm going to fail anyway. So I'd go to the gym. I was actually really weird. Most people will only go a day or two a week and then fail the rest. I was really good for like 2-3 weeks and then would fall off the wagon for like 6 weeks. It was just, and I never really understood. One thing I always noticed was if I ever had more than one rest day in a row, it would always turn into 3, 4, 5 days. I always had to only have one rest day and then get back into it. And I just completely lacked consistency in that department. I had tried over the years, I'd done things like Slimming World. Like again, people would be like, well, why did you need that if you weren't overweight? I just would feel sluggish. So I tried different diets and approaches, like teas and detox things and stuff like that. I was like, oh yeah, I'll do this for a week. But I was very much one of those people that was like, I'm going to start Monday. And I'd have like a million ideas. I'm going to eat clean, do this exercise, Never did it. Never stuck to anything I said I'd do. I had tried a personal trainer, dropped me straight down to 1,200 calories. I didn't even know. I wouldn't have told you what calories I was on before that. I just ate and didn't eat terribly, just didn't eat great either. Again, wasn't hitting protein or anything like that. But the personal trainer, dropped me straight to 1,200. And I remember that was in the summer of last year. So I started with you guys around Christmas. And I remember just being like, my stomach adjusted to the 1,200 calories. That actually frightens me now when I think back on it. So I remember I was so hungry for the first few days. But it was my mood. Like I had no energy to do anything. But at the time I was like trusting what they were saying. No, we're doing this for the fat loss first. Then we're going to build a muscle. And I was like, okay, I'll go with it. And I remember when I started to eat normally after that, or eat more calories, how sore my stomach was because it had totally adjusted to those low calories. So it's a big thing. I'm into like nothing that's done in 6 weeks or whatever is worth it. It's not sustainable. I remember though, so anyway, my mood was the main thing there. I remember doing like squats or something and they were like trying to, and I just went, no. And I went over and stood in the corner. I had tears in my eyes. I was like, oh my God, I'm so erratic. I'm failing. I'm doing this all the time. I'm failing again. I felt like a failure. But again, now when I look back, that just wasn't right for me. That wasn't healthy. It wasn't anyway good. So that's what I was like. Anyway, that's where I was at kind of coming into it. When I met you guys physically, going kind of and not sticking to anything. I had joined rugby in the September. That was a really, really big step for me, something new. So I was enjoying that. Just again, I'm used to being in the gym by myself. So that was a big thing to be surrounded by all these people and personalities and stuff. The big thing for me was my mindset. So how I actually think I had followed you already through Natalie Lennon. I had seen something with you. So you were one of my fitness people that I followed. But I'd never really thought about coaching or anything until I somehow came across, oh my God, what's her real name? Claire Arneil, Simply Cinder's Fit. So I came across her video with Ashley, I think it was. It was like one of these. And she was going through it. And I just one day just watched it and was like, whoa, so much of what she was saying really resonated with me, because it wasn't so much about the fitness aspect. It was how much progress she had made with her mental health, with her mindset, with how she viewed things. And I remember just thinking, Jesus, because I never would have thought about an online coach as any. So I was like, sure, it might help me get fitter, but sure, it's not going to do anything for how I was coping. Because so it's important, to note as well for people watching. So I would have I think everyone has some sorts of issues with stress and stuff, but I have ongoing problems with anxiety, depression. massive at the time coming up to, I was really, really miserable in work, really stressed out all the time over stupid things, like over not, they shouldn't be things that were stressing me out, but just really, really miserable in work. I slept okay, but when I look back now, I slept way too much. So what I would say, how I would describe kind of my state of mind a lot of the time was, if I was depressed, I was content, because I felt like I'd just go to work, come home, sleep. You know, like way too much oversleeping. And I'm terrified of change. That's like a really big thing with me. I was afraid of trying new things or doing anything, because I was afraid any sort of change would make me anxious, would flip it. And that's what I couldn't cope with. When I was anxious about everything. I, like, you remember, like my first call with Ashley, and then I spoke to you. It was this, and I was stressing even thinking about changing anything, because I was afraid. I said, is this going to make me even more anxious than I am now? So that sounds really sad when I say I was content when I was depressed, but I just meant like that. I was happy to be miserable and not change anything, because in case it made me more miserable or more freaking out about everything. My big things were whys. I could never let anything go, anything, the smallest things. I had to know why. But why does that person not like me? And why did they say that to me? Why did they say that about me? Just stupid, like teenage stuff that just I could never get past it. And again, I wouldn't sleep, then during those phases. So that's why I was happier when I was just miserable, sad.
When you kind of came on board with me, then what kind of changed then, or how has that changed?
So I remember starting off.
It was a big change for you. It was a big step.
Yeah.
Change then from there when you actually finally made that decision to do it.
That's actually, and it's something I love as well, is that like you guys aren't like advertised like, oh, come and get this, like this changes this much money or whatever. It was kind of like, you have to talk to us first. And I was like, okay. And I remember like sitting and talking, I was like, not sure. And I actually never, like, price, nothing came into my head. I was just sort of seeing what it was all about. So I think that's really cool, and definitely would advise people to go for that. But I remember Ashley saying, so it was, no, we're starting now. And I said, sorry, what? Like, it's Christmas. And he just said something, it was a really cool point. He was like, Christmas is every year. He said, and it's not the only thing that you're going to have a year where there's going to be extra food and fun. And he said, like, it's part of life. He said, like, we're not here for anything that you're going to cut yourself and restrict yourself from everything in life. And I kind of thought that was cool. And again, so I was with you then, I like wanted you as my coach, and you were like, God, absolutely no tracking Christmas Day or anything. Enjoy your Christmas. So I thought that was like, just really, I was like, oh, this is a new level of support, kind of. They're telling me to eat. But so what I'm looking back on now, so how things changed for me were, obviously you helped me with a routine in the gym. And that was like loads of people you see. I just went in and faffed about with whatever I felt like doing on the day. I did kind of split, as in I'd faff about with leg things one day and then the next day was arm things. But like I was set up with like consistent full body. We sort of went for the 3 days or whatever, because I would have had my rugby and stuff as well. So it was just really cool, because like my work is hard. Like I could have 1 week where I have 5 free days, so I have loads of time to do stuff. And then another week where I work stupid hours and I have very limited free time. But I actually began to look forward to to getting that gym in. It wasn't like, oh no, well, I won't bother this week because I'm working too much. The big changes as well were the routines and things like that. What I love is it's small, achievable goals bit by bit. Like if I were to look back and list off a load of different things that I do now, but it wasn't that you turned around and said, okay, so now you're going to have morning, night routine. You're going to go to the gym 3 times a week. You're going to eat all the veg. You're going to do. It was just like bit by bit. Okay, so why don't we work on this next week? And why don't we work on that? And the more I just kind of went with you, totally put my trust in what you were saying, and was like, okay, but a bit still in my head, like, oh, whatever. And only over time I was like, I'm doing it. I'm doing those things that she asked me to do, but like I'm the one doing it. Nobody's doing it for me. Nobody's organizing my life for me. The organization, that video you always tag people in on, planners and stuff like that, that's just, I've described that in different ways to so many people to help them just be organized. And the more that I could see what I was achieving, the more I realized, I was like, but I'm doing this. This is like, I'm able to do it. It's all like, it's really simple things like a gym routine, a morning and night routine, and a weekly planner, planning out your stuff you're going to do the next day. So people might look at me and be like, but why did you need to pay somebody to do that for you? It's like, because how many times do people say, new year, new me, oh, it's Monday, I'm going to do this, and you never stick to it. So a word I used the whole time with yourself and Ashley when I started was accountability. I was like, I need somebody to be watching me, to be checking in on me. Like, I need somebody to report to, because I just know I won't do it. I won't stick to it. So as I said, as I did these things and achieved these like mini goals, like I like improve my lifts and stuff like that, I was telling you, and you were honestly so genuinely happy. That was lovely as well, having somebody who's like, yay, you did it. But I was starting to realize that I could do it myself. Do you know what I mean? And that's the major thing, because when you describe overall like what you've changed, like people's asked me, oh, you're paying a coach, like, oh, what's your diet plan? I'd be like, I don't have one. And the face of them. And I said, no, I said, I eat. I said, I ate what I wanted for the first while. She kind of sees what I ate and helps me make some changes. So I remember, the food now gone to, I remember the first couple of times I tried to hit the protein, I was dying. I was like, I can't, it's so much food, I feel sick. But it was just, again, my body was adjusting to that much. And now, like, I'm actually currently not tracking at the moment. And I know I'm hitting my protein, because once you do it for a while, you get so used to it. And for anyone watching, I know some people are like, no, not using my fitness pal. I don't want to be that person that's restricted, but you're not, because not many people's diet changes dramatically, like week in, week out. So I kind of ate similar foods, so you get used to what you eat, and you know, like, I'm having that tin of tuna and eggs later, so whatever, you know, you're hitting your protein and fiber. But my energy levels slow, like that actually changed pretty quick. Again, struggled with protein for just the first week or two maybe, and then all of a sudden I realized how much more energy I had. I used to go to the gym with an empty stomach, which sometimes I still do. Sometimes I just get up and I go, maybe if I'm up really early or something, I don't want to eat too early. But sometimes, like when I was going later in the day, you were like, have your breakfast before. And I noticed the difference, like just silly things. I was like, how did I not know to do this type of thing? So it's having someone there to guide you along. So yeah, those were the things that changed sort of as I went along anyway. But massively, the big thing was my stress level. I just noticed, because I was focused on these like small little goals each week, and these small things like tracking my food, planning my food for the next day. If I initially thought, I'm going to be stressed off my tits doing this, but I wasn't. I was focused on something. And then that took away from all the silly crap, like people in work not doing things the way I think it should be done, and like insignificant stuff that was just stressing me out so much. And I became less stressed. And I sleep, like now I sleep so much less, but not in an unhealthy way. I just sleep a normal amount now. Yeah, I still have naps if I need them, but it's nothing like, it's not anything like it was before. Like I could have slept 10, 11 hours and then had a nap that day, you know, on a day off. Whereas now, even on my days off, I'm up. I'm not one of those people that's up at 5 a.m, but like on a day off, I'd be up at 8, which before I never would have been up before 10:30, 11. The morning and night routines, it's really funny because it's like, as kids we did that, why don't we do it as adults? As kids, you would have the TV off, time to get into your jammies, get ready for bed, and in the mornings it was all the stuff. So I would have, if I was in work at 9 o'clock, I would have been up, I'd have to leave at 8:30, I'd be up at 8:15, clothes on, out the door. Now I'm up at least an hour before I have to leave. And it's like, and I love that. I would hate if I slept through my alarm and had to get up late. Now I'm like, and sometimes it's just to sit and have a cup of tea with my sister and see my nephew before work, because it just puts you in such a good mind frame before you go. Or as you say, I have that half hour where the phone's down and it's just productive. That could be something as small as getting a wash on or something. But it's still, you've done something, you've started the day, and I've made my bed, got that wash on, had my breakfast, and spent time with my sister before going to work. Whereas before I wouldn't even be awake by the time I was in the car. It was just out, bam, go kind of thing. So yeah.
And say in terms of if someone's kind of in the same position as you, like scared of change, didn't know why they'd want something like coaching, because you got something completely different from just the, you obviously saw a lot of fat loss phase or fat loss, but you've got a lot more from it. And someone who maybe thinks that, oh, it's a bit silly for me to look for a coach and side things for accountability. If someone's kind of in a similar position to you, thinking, why do I really need something like this? What would you say to them if they're on the fence thinking about
I would just say, like, I'd go back to those things. Like, I'd be like, think about everything you've tried. Like, a lot of things, a friend of mine actually read, I fucking love if she watches this. It was like, this would suit her down to the ground. But the thing I always hear is, oh, I know what I have to do. I just have to do it. That's like, I hear that so much from people. Oh, but I know what I have to do. I just have to do it. So I'll start Monday. Or I just have to get past this wedding in 2 weeks and then I'm going to start. And it's like that's where I always go back to that Christmas. I'm like, but stuff like that is going to come up in your life. Like loads of my friends and stuff would say, oh, I have to give up drinking now and eating crap. And it's like, well, you don't have to give it all up. Like you could just twerk it around, like tweak it around a bit and kind of fit it into your life in a healthier, more manageable way. And that's like, I've tried plans with friends, like, let's go together and do it. And once they fail, you kind of fail too. Because like your friend might say, oh, I'm not going to the gym. And then you say, oh, I won't bother either. So it's doing something for yourself, but having a friend there with you to support you. Because it's your job, obviously, but I never felt like I was work for you, if you know what I mean. Like, you're not that good an actress. It's genuine, it's genuine enthusiasm and support. And it's just lovely. It's so lovely having somebody there. It's somebody to ask all those questions to. Like, it's someone, like, you show what food you plan on eating and somebody's there to tell you, oh, look, like your protein's a bit low. What about trying this, that? It's all those, the lifts in the gym. How many times? I think I sent about 8 videos on Romanian deadlifts because I just couldn't get it. But it was somebody to help. And that's the thing, people will say, no, I need a personal trainer, somebody there. And I always think back to me with that guy, and I had to go and stand in the corner because I nearly killed him. And I was like, no, it actually works really well, because between, like, you actually do give feedback and you're able to critique the videos and explain really well, like, what needs to be changed. I do times I've been like, Sarah, sending voice things, just go and spare over something. And you're just so calm because it's not a face-to-face thing. I think if I had a one-to-one PT, I think they'd want to kill me because I'd just be constantly losing the plot over things. But you were able to just take the time to calmly respond to me. And I used to love getting your voice things. I'd be like, yeah, she's right. I am freaking out over something silly. But yeah, so I just tell that person, invest in yourself. Like, it's not, don't look at like the financial aspect, because anything else, they're all worth money. Everything's money. And when you put money into something, you tend to put the effort in. That's how I felt. Every time I thought, fuck it, I'm not arsed planning for tomorrow, I'm just not doing it. My food, say at the start when you were like, I want you to plan your food ahead and send it over to me. Something like that. Anytime I felt like I wasn't arsed, at the very start, there was a bit of like, oh, sure, I'm after paying the money now, so I better do it. But that's a good thing. Like, that's good because it gets you going to do it. Like, when you buy those shakes or those diet things and stuff like that, it's easy for you to just be like, nah, not arsed doing it today. I've learned, like, you will learn so much about the long game. Like, I didn't want a quick six pack, like quick fix 6-pack that like I was going to suddenly like and starve myself and be miserable and then end up like losing it all, losing all the progress. That's a big thing I see with lots of people, including my friends and stuff. They do these things for 6 weeks, 12 weeks, and then they lose it all and wonder why. And it's like, you need accountability, sustainability, and like support, self-care. How have I not said that so far? You're like, again, a friend of mine, like, I've been trying to get her to like just simply tell me things she likes about herself. No, nearly died. Like, the big emphasis on self-care, because that's just amazing, I think, because you're in your fitness, like, and I found this baffling that the first thing that you wanted me to put in on my weekly thing was like daily self-care. And like, I freaked out over I'd be trying everything. There was a phase where I was like wanting to fit in yoga, reading, all this stuff, but you just have to find what works for you. And now, like, I would talk about self-care, oh yeah, loving yourself and all that, but now I genuinely do love myself. Like, I value that time that I put to myself. I'm a bit more selfish, but that's a good thing. You know, I was constantly trying to look after everybody else and do things for everyone else, and wasn't facing anything about myself. And like, that's so the emphasis that you put on that, or even if I said I was stressed, we'd work out why, like, what was stressing you, what was upsetting you. I had a big thing on, I used to organize things with my friends, and I knew I wouldn't do it. I knew I'd bail closer to the time. And then I slowly started to, because everything clicked into place, because I was less stressed, I was feeling better in myself, I was taking care of myself, I was seeing progress in what I was doing, my diet was better. Then I was happier. So, like, little things, I booked a trip to Edinburgh, and like, people might think so, but that was huge for me because I was actually excited for it, and I never lost that excitement. I'm the person who booked Thailand and bawled my eyes out the week before because I did not want to go, because I was afraid of upsetting me, and then in turn upsetting everyone else, you know. So the changes in that aspect. So sorry, I know I'm going off like why, but I think people will so relate to that. It's not all like voodoo hippie stuff. I think when people hear self-care, they're like, ugh, I'm gonna have to meditate. I tried meditation, I did, and I liked it, but I liked sitting quietly and reading a book for a while more. Do you know, you find what works for you. But the lifts and stuff in the gym, like, I remember seeing a girl lifting. I wrote this in my testimonial. I saw a girl when I started, I think I was doing 50 or 60 hip thrusts, and I saw this tiny little thing. Like, I said, what's on that? And it was 130 or something. I remember that figure because I was like, oh, Jesus, maybe next year. And then only recently, and a guy came up to me in the gym and said, like, what are you on now? And then I realised I was on 130. I started laughing. He was like, what? I said, oh, nothing, never mind. But I had hit like that target that I back then thought was so like far, far away. But when you stick to something and you just bit by bit, small improvements, like, things happen and things change massively. And when you hit those achievements, you start to believe in yourself and you start to see what you're capable of. Like, I'm going back to college. That wasn't even a goal. That wasn't even something I spoke about with you guys because I was too old, couldn't afford it. People would think I was crazy. Like, no belief in myself. If I can't commit to a 6-week fitness plan, why would I commit to college? And now, like, I've done it, I've done my interview, I've paid my deposit to go back and study. Like, it's insane. Like, my mom doesn't know what to think. My boss in my appraisal, he said to me, I don't know what you're doing outside of here, but it's working. And I just laughed. I was like, what do you mean? He said, because he said, the person you were 6 months ago to the person you are now. And he actually, he was very funny. He said, there's no kind of unoffensive way of saying it, but I actually thought you were a bit unstable because my mood was just so like night and day. I'm a really outgoing, bubbly person. But then when those stupid things stressed me out, I would just be angry and upset, like tears in my eyes over nothing. And now I only cry at sad movies, you know. I don't cry at silly things. But yeah, to somebody else, just have that, and even just do the video chat, like just have a talk, find out more about it, see how you feel, if it'd be something for you. Don't be frightened about when you hear words like self-care, like ew, you know. Even if it's just a walk, you don't have to go and think about yourself and think about stuff you like about yourself, but just take the advice, take it on board, and remember that nothing's going to be thrown at you really quick. It's not going to be anything thrown at you like, okay, I want you doing this 5 days a week and that's it. Like, no fun, nothing else. It's about small, sustainable changes that you will keep. And I know I'll keep them. Like, I think I said something like, I feel like you've given me my Iron Man suit, but like, that is it. Like, you've given me tools that I know I will stick to. I like the gym, my gym closed, just closed, ground whipped from under me 6 months ago. That was it. I wouldn't have gone to another gym if you paid me. The stress of that was, and I remember talking to Natalie Lennon. She was like, let's be positive. And I was like, Natalie, stop. Let me be stressed, please. But again, she's so right. I used to laugh at people who were positive all the time. I used to be like, those airy fairy, like, be positive people, leave me alone. But it is so true. Like I was like, okay, I will relax. I've joined a new gym. Never would have done that because it's only 20 minutes away, by the way, but my other gym was 2 minutes away. So I would have said, no, I won't make the effort. Now I love it. Like I've played around for the first couple of weeks. I haven't been tracking my food, and I've been just kind of getting to grips with the equipment and stuff because there's new stuff there. But now, like, going back to it, the basics, those compound lifts, those deadlifts that I love, those Romanian ones that I can do because I understand the difference. But yeah, like I'm not. When I said to you I had to stop, and again, like yeah, my reason was because I have to hit the ground running with this saving for college. But I know I'm at a place now where no, I'm not 100% better with my mental health. That's always going to be a problem. But I am slowly weaning off the medication I'm taking. Another huge thing, you know. Ever had goals, never into next month, never mind next year. And now, like, I'm slowly seeing this blurry vision of the next few years. Okay, in 4 years, I'm going to be qualified in psychotherapy and counselling. I'm going to do my master's. You know, I have things and I know I can get there. So huge. I can't describe to someone enough like how much I think they should give it a go, because not everybody is going to be on a massive weight loss journey. Not everybody is looking to be a bodybuilder. You know, some people, just like myself, they're okay at things. You know, they know how to lift a weight. Like I kind of knew my way around the gym, but I just didn't stick to it. And I didn't realize until I've seen now how far I've come. I didn't realize like how bad like my self-esteem and everything was, and my self-confidence. So like, just take the journey, take the leap, do it for yourself.
Thank you so much, Ashley. I think a lot of people get a lot from this, so thank you so much for doing this.
No problem, you're fine.